Peace and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Lani G, the CEO and founder of Loving the Journey, and I am a spiritual mentor and intuitive healer for Black women. And I am here to just talk about ways to help us live liberated, to help us holistically heal, and really to just live our best life. Okay, in today's video, as you can see by the title, we are talking about my series, Using Water to Heal. And today's episode, or part 3 of the series, is spiritual baths. So I've been kind of building up to like more intricate practices that we can do with water. So we started with, speaking intention to the water that we drink. Then we moved into taking an intentional shower, and now we are talking about spiritual baths, which are one of the most basic ways to heal ourselves and to cleanse our energetic aura. And so today I'm going to be sharing my insight on what a spiritual bath is, how to do them, and really how to, cleanse yourself with a spiritual bath. So I talked about last time a shower, this time, and last time was just more so an intentional shower. Not more so, it was an intentional shower. And so a spiritual bath can be taken 2 ways. But before we get into any of that, make sure that if you have any questions or anything like that, make sure you drop them in the comments, or you can shoot me an email. All the information is below. And make sure also, if you are interested in working with me, you can apply to my Get Your Together program, which is a 3-month spiritual mentorship program for Black women that are ready to get started or restarted on their healing journey. And I work with you for 3 months in a group with a few other women. And we work through my program that takes you through rebranding yourself, which is really getting clear on your beliefs, your belief systems, and how they guide your actions in your waking life. Then we move into session 2, month 2, which talks about your foundation, your spiritual grounding, and figuring out what it is that you need to stay spiritually grounded throughout your healing journey, which is a lifelong journey. And last, we talk about your vision and creating the vision for your life and how to live in alignment with that vision. Because it's one thing to just say, I have this vision, but there is another thing to move in alignment with that. And so we talk about that in the program, and we end the program with a 3-day in-person retreat here in Houston, Texas. And it's going to feature some of the women that actually attended my first retreat. They are coming back to teach, and I'm so excited for them to be a part of this beautiful, beautiful movement. And I would love to have you be a part of the movement as well. So if you're interested in that or anything in regards to working with me, you just check out the links below and, visit my website, see what it is that I offer, and I would love to be in community with you. So definitely do that. So let's get into today's content. And today's content is, like I said, spiritual baths. And so one of the first things that you do when you're getting ready to prepare a spiritual bath is you set your intention. We talk about doing things intentionally. We talk about how important it is to show up with intention. And this is one of the most important things before you do anything, deciding what is going to be the intention of this spiritual bath. What are you intending to do? What do you think this bath is going to do for you? What do you want it to do for you? And at the end of the video, I'm going to share a good recipe for your first spiritual bath if you've never taken a spiritual bath before, and what is one that's like a basic one to get started. So stay tuned for that. My bad, Viola girl. But so first thing you want to do, so once you move past the beginner, like, it's just generally like, what do you want this bath to do? So if you want it to be a bath that draws some things to you, that you want to have some certain attractive properties, look up some herbs that are in alignment with what it is that you're wanting to do. And so once you set your intention, then you can move forward and say, okay, well, I'm gonna use this herb, I'm gonna use that herb, and I'm gonna use that herb. And this is gonna help me to bring about what it is that I want to do for myself. So spiritual baths are not only cleansing and purifying for ourselves, but they can also help us to bring in a certain type of energy, that we want. So so when you're picking it, so the second thing to do is I'm looking at my notes, by the way, is to pick 2 to 3 herbs that are in alignment with your intention. And so we really want to stick to 2 or 3 because when we think about energy, right, we don't want to add too much energy to what it is that we're trying to do, because first and foremost, the spiritual bath is meant to cleanse, purify, right? And after that, it is, you can add I feel like the basic intention for all spiritual baths is this cleansing, this purification. And so for me, usually when I'm doing my spiritual baths, I always have at least one herb that is about that's adding that energy into it. And so on top of that, so if you're trying to draw in some love, you can have some rose petals, dried rose petals. You want to draw in, maybe some peace, adding lavender, depending on what your intention is, you'll add a specific herb. And so we want to, again, like I say, we want to keep it to 2 to 3, because if you think about, like, if you're catering to you, if you invite 2 guests to your home, those 2 guests are much easier to, mesh that energy, cater to those people, give them what they need, blah, 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 rather than if you have a party for 10. Like, that's a lot of different energies that could possibly clash. Like, these people may all be nice, and they all have good energy, but the more energy you add, the more chaotic it can be. And so we want to keep it basic, keep it simple. Okay, for spiritual baths, we want to keep it really simple. We don't want to add 10 herbs and then, make our spiritual bath that way. Not going to work. Okay. They kind of could end up canceling each other out, honestly, like just adding too much energy. So keeping it basic and using 2 to 3 herbs for that. So then you get your spiritual tools. So some things that I usually add into my spiritual bath is, first and foremost, I always add some Florida water. And so this is one of the most popular spiritual colognes that people use for many different reasons. You can use a Florida water to clean your home. When you have a floor wash, you can just put some Florida water down, and it's like a blessing agent for me. I'll bless the space. I'll sometimes wash my clothes with it, blessing my clothes. Like, you can bless anything, I feel like, with some Florida water, but there are a host of other spiritual colognes. So again, it really is depending on what you want to do. But for me, I always add Florida water because I just feel like this is, first of all, I smell good. Second, it's just a blessing. Like, it's a basic blessing blessing cologne for me. Sorry, I'm trying to get to my notes here. And then, so I have Florida water, and you can also, if you make moon water or sun water, you can add that in as well. And so for me, like, depending on if it's a full moon, I usually do full moon water. I haven't really done any new moon water yet, but full moon water is good for banishing specifically. So if this is your first spiritual bath, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, you can, use the intention of that the moon water, which has this energy of banishing, has the energy of releasing, which is good for your first spiritual bath. Is just really clearing out all that old energy. So if you've never taken a spiritual bath, you come across this video and you're 60 years old, babe, there's a lot of energy you got to clear away. So that would be a good one to use. And, if you want me to talk about a video or make a video on creating moon water, let me know. I could definitely do that. Okay. So again, we talked about setting your intention, then picking 2 to 3 herbs that are in alignment with that intention. And then next, you are getting your spiritual tools. So you have these herbs, and then you are going to add it's like it's the gas in the tank. You feel me? Like, you got the car, but you need the gas. Okay. I hope this is making sense. Sometimes my analogies and my metaphors don't make sense, but it's okay. So yes, and then after you got your tools, you got your stuff, you got your water, you feel me? What you're gonna do is speak your intention into the spiritual bath. So you are going to boil these herbs down, with your other spiritual tools. So your Florida water, your moon water, just general water. So you need water, you need your 2 to 3 herbs, and you need your other cleansing, purification, or just blessing agents like the Florida water or the moon water, okay? And so you put all these into a pot, and what you do is, as you're adding each agent, as you're adding each, component of the spiritual bath, you will be speaking your intentions into that. So for example, when you are adding your Florida water, you're saying, I bless I bless this bath to cleanse me, to purify me. With every drop of Florida water, this is blessing me. And it's binding with the energy of all the other herbs that I have to do what it's meant to do. So you're just going to speak your intentions into that water, because as we said before, we can program water. Water holds energy, water holds intention. And so as you're adding the herbs, you are asking them to blend with the energy of the water, to connect with the energy of the water, and to really give you the energy that it is that you're desiring to receive. And so some people, what they do is they keep the herbs all together with the water and they like pour it in a tub, and then they get in that tub. Okay. I am not going to do that because I don't want to clean all those herbs out of the tub. So what I do is I strain it after. So after I have my herbs, like you boil it for say 20 to 30 minutes, make sure that it's getting all of that energy up in there on low. It's not like, boiling for 30, 40 minutes. It's, simmering, getting that energy, getting what it needs. And then you get it, you turn off the eye. And then what I do is I pour the pot out over a strainer, and then I have my spiritual bath. And so there are two ways that you can take your spiritual bath. And so if you're a person like me who started with just having a shower, you can do the pour over method, which I recommend. And what I have learned is having it cold. So if you make it that same day and you want to take the bath the same day, maybe put it in the fridge for a little bit, don't freeze it, but like put it in the fridge and maybe make it earlier in the day so that by the nighttime you can have it, because having it cold is really going to shock the system, which is going to cleanse away that energy. Don't ask me how or why. It is what it is. Okay. The first time I took a spiritual bath, poured it over, I literally saw, I wish I could show y'all what it looked like, but it was like, I saw the energy leaving and like being pushed out. And so what you're going to do before you do the pour over method, or before you decide to get in the bathtub. So like I didn't even get to the second method. The second method is literally taking the bath. And so what you do before you take the bath, though, is you actually cleanse your body prior to. So you don't get into the spiritual bath without having already taken a shower or taken a bath, like to cleanse your body. So you want to start with a clean body. So that's step number 5 before you get into the actual bath. So say you took a shower and you're going to do the pour over method. You take a shower, you stay in the shower, you bring your spiritual bath in there with you, and then you pour it over yourself after you've taken the shower. And so once you do that, you let it air dry. You do not wipe it off. You do not, scrub yourself after that. You are letting the energy of the spiritual bath settle into your body. So you just gonna be naked walking around for a little bit. Okay. So what I do is I put a towel. I have like a little wraparound towel. I just sit it on my bed and I just sit there and I just, think about the energy of the spiritual bath and allow that to, resonate within me and let it dry. Or you can take a regular bath, and again, starting with the clean body, you set set the mood. Some people also with baths, you can light a candle that has the same intention. So you can use those herbs with that candle, dress that candle, and burn that as you're taking your spiritual bath, and think about the things that the bath means to you, all of that energy. Okay. And so that's the basics of creating a spiritual bath. And so I'm going to share with you a good first bath to start with if you have never had a spiritual bath before. This is what I used when I first started taking my spiritual bath. So hyssop is a very common herb to use to start with your spiritual bath, because hyssop is for purification and protection from negative energies. So one thing I want to say is that when you take a spiritual bath, you did just cleanse your aura. So now you are more vulnerable, I would say, than before to other energies, because it's like a baby, like you're fresh out, immune system fresh and new, so it's like being intentional about after you take your spiritual bath, like who you're spending your time around, maybe taking a few days to not really spend that much time around other people, but using these herbs that have like these double, what would you say? They have more, like it's not just for one purpose, like it's more than one purpose. Like this is for purification and protection. So it's protecting your energetic being while also purifying it. So hyssop is a good one to start with. We have cloves, which are good for also this purification, and it drives away hostile and negative energies. And so again, if this is your first bath, there's a lot of energies that you you have picked up on in your life. And so you may wonder why you just always have this feeling, or you always just this negative cloud kind of over you. This will dispel that. Okay, this will get it all on the way. And it is up to you. Let the ancestors guide you how much you're going to add. I'm not out here saying, add a teaspoon, and then I'll really just be pouring to my spirit, say, stop. Okay, your spirit gonna tell you, sis. All right. And then the last thing is black walnut. So I have powder. I got this from my local metaphysical shop. Other people use actual holes, and it does make the spiritual bath very dark. It looks kind of like coffee to me. So be careful if you have your coffee in the fridge next to some stuff. You don't want nobody drinking your spiritual bath. Okay. Probably like, I mean, who knows, it might taste good. I don't know, the herbs be blending well together. Anyway, but yes, so black walnut hulls or black walnut powder, the energy that this has is to, sorry, my notes. It is to remove toxic relationships and like banish energetic attachments. So it's really good, again, as your first one, because there's a lot of energetic attachments. This is good if you want to cut some cords. Maybe if you just broke up with somebody, get you some black walnut powder, black walnut hulls, and take that spiritual bath to cleanse that energy, to help you release that person and that energetic attachment. So these three, like I said, 2 to 3 herbs are really wonderful to start with. And then, adding your Florida water, adding your moon water, adding, just regular water, so that these herbs can blend together with that energy, and you speak your intention, and then you got your spiritual bath. And so a last recommendation that I have for people when you're having your first bath is to do it a few times, because again, if you have never cleansed your energetic aura before in this way, you might need to take a bath maybe 3 days in a row, maybe 7 days in a row, maybe 9 days in a row. If you like me and you struggle with doing things back to back, pray for yourself. Okay? Because just try to find a way to be consistent, because it is going to benefit you tremendously. One of my intentions for this month that we're in right now, depending on when you're seeing this video, was to take a spiritual bath every Sunday. And so also, if you're like me, you do a lot of energy work, you might need to do more spiritual baths more often. And so just really, it's up to you. If your spirit is calling for you to take a spiritual bath, like you feel like all of a sudden you get this urge to want to do it, it's probably your ancestors communicating with you. You got some energy to clear, or they want you to draw some energy in, or your spirit is just saying, we need this right now. And so letting your intuition guide you, honestly, what I've begun to do is just to collect herbs, like whatever I feel called to maybe purchase one day, I'll get it. And I may not even use it right away, but it may come a time where my spirit is like, that's the herb we need to use today. And so it's really important for you to trust your intuition, like I say. So everything I share is not saying this is exactly how you have to do it. This is a way to start. The way I learned to do my spiritual baths, I learned from listening to another person. I watched some YouTube videos, and additionally I listened to some podcasts, people that practice certain things. And specifically a little juju podcast. She recommended the hyssop and the black walnut, I think. And I added the cloves myself. So it's like, it's really up to you. So this is really meant to offer you a foundation. And from here, you can decide, okay, this is actually what my spirit is telling me to do, but that was a great idea. So again, I say that I'm not saying this is the only way to do it, but this is a really good way to start. And then you can start to expand and, doing what your spirit calls you to. So hope this wasn't too long. I tried to explain as much as I could. If you have any questions, or just you're like, Lani, can you talk a little bit more about that? I would love to do that. Let me know what it is that you want me to talk about. And, I'm sending you love and positive energy for your first spiritual bath. Let me know how it goes for you. And honestly, release expectations about it. Just take it with your intentions in mind, and you're going to learn how to be more intentional as you go. Because I think the first time I took a spiritual bath, it was not a real spiritual bath. And I was like, I don't feel any different. And it just, because I had no intention behind it. I didn't know how to do it. So really just take your time, be patient with yourself, be kind with yourself, and just explore. Really, really just see what your spirit guide you towards, and it'll honestly just be great from there. So thank you for watching the video. Like it if it gave you some value, so that YouTube knows that this is a valuable video, that I provide valuable content. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video with a sis in need, and turn on the post notification so you know when I post future videos. So thank you for tuning in. Again, leave a comment if you have any questions, or send me an email. I love to interact with you all. So I will see you next time, and I hope you are continuing to love the journey. Peace, sis.